this is our 9th year as the sponsor and the partner in the World Money Fair Panda. We started with our friend, Mr. Henning, and then continue with Barbara, and then now with Mr. Getz. And this is one of the products that we're very proud of. And this year, we changed the design a little bit. We have been using this enclosed design with our partner, the Shanghai New Century Men, Kevin, who's the CEO, is actually here. And this year, we used the design for Berlin for the first time. So we have a double enclosed technology that we use. And also, with every product you do, you need a story. So recently, there have been a lot of stories about this Idols of March coin, which is actually probably the most famous and most valuable Roman coin. Also, with the museum, the theme we work with, they have an example of this coin, which actually I went there and saw it there a few years ago. And this is something that also, this year is the Year of the Dragon, which is a very, very popular year for the Chinese Lunar series. So this is the Idols of March coin. This is one of the coins I remember because I watched the Cleopatra movie. This was one of the main story in there, the Idols of March. And the gold coin is the most valuable ancient coin in history. And Mr. Yu Ming, the designer of all our products, he was awarded the Coty Lifetime Award back in 2017 here. And in the past, I have met most of you at the Coty ceremony here, and unfortunately, that has now moved back to the US. But we're still the sponsor since 2017. And Mr. Yu has, our first, let me think here. Our first Panda here was in 2016. And back in 2016, the market was a very, very different environment. We made 2,000 examples. In the last 2 years, we made 200. And the 200 example was a lot more technology applied with New Century Men, and we have done many changes. And our partner here for the last 9 years is the Kunkel auction in Germany. And I'm pretty sure when the booth opened at 10 o'clock this morning, those 100 examples probably sold out already. And it's very, very different to make a product that's to continue because tastes have changed in the past 9 years. We first started with the Shanghai Men, the first 2 years, then we went to the Shenzhen Guobao Men, and then we went to New Century because it was easier for us to work with them on the technical side. Also in 2019, we did a polymer Panda coin with B.H. Meyer. That was a really cool product, but it was very, very difficult because we had to make the plasters and send them to Germany. And then because they don't do plasters anymore at B.H. Meyer. So this process has changed quite a bit since we started the program. And this is the Shanghai New Century Men, and we work closely with them now because they're only about an hour from my office. So we do first strikes there. We do a lot of cooperation with them on many different projects. They're all now making all my products that we make. And we started working with the World Platinum Investment Council last year for our Macau Panda, and also this year's Berlin Panda. So we're making platinum issues. The first one we did was back in 2015 Macau. If you notice, these minutes is quite small, except the 50-year anniversary we did for Berlin 2 years ago. That was 50 examples. And these platinum issues are very, very popular. And our partner in the US, Asset Marketing, sold those for $7,000 and they were sold out, back in 2022. Okay, then this is a new medal that's coming up in Hong Kong in April. This is the first show Panda was produced for the Hong Kong show back in 1984. And this year is the 40th anniversary, so we're going to have a special Panda released there. Hong Kong is known for all the neon lights. When I first went to Hong Kong back in 1990, I saw all these neon lights. And unfortunately, in the last 4 years, some of these most famous restaurants, which I used to go to, have closed. So we're kind of trying to remember, the good old days, of these Hong Kong, neon lights. So this is a program that's going to be released on April 6th, and also struck one New Century. And also, this is a new series that I would like to talk about. This is also going to be released on April 6th. This is the third series that we're working with. This is called The Legend of Chu Liu Shang. This is the second most famous author in Kung Fu Wuxia, and this is the most famous character he developed. We did a TV series in China back in 2006 that was CCTV number 3. So we had the license for this, the owner is a friend of mine. And what we did was, originally the first coin, which you'll see a little bit later, back last year, was based on the 2001 drawing this famous Hong Kong comic artist, Mr. Lee, have drawn. And if you take a look, this is the design right here, is the new one that's going to be released April 6th. And this is Mr. Lee. He is probably the most famous comic artist in Hong Kong, and he started working with Japanese comic publishers back in the late 1990s. And he is the exclusive partner for the most famous Kung Fu author, Mr. Louis Cha. And this year in March is his 100th anniversary, so there's a lot of products are coming out for this anniversary. And also, Mr. Lee won the first international manga contest the Japanese government sponsored in 2007, and he was awarded the top prize by the foreign minister, later Prime Minister, Mr. Aso. So he's actually become a very good friend of mine, and he's a very, very interesting person. Okay, so this is the second coin that will be released in June. So if you notice, the artists always start with drawing in black and white, and then later on he put the color in. And this design of these 3 different coins is the 3 female characters in the series, and they have different kind of technology that New Century is using in the background. And this was used, I think, in the Cody, winner a couple years ago. So we were using this 3 different colors for the 3 different female characters. And this is the final character, which will be released in August. So these are all new drawings that Mr. Lee drew this year. And last year, the first coin came out. This drawing was actually done by him in 2001 for a series of reissue of this novel. So we based the first coin on this drawing. And later, Mr. Lee said, hey, I could make new drawings for you that will be updated. So we're like, okay. So this is the 3 new drawings he did for us last year. If you notice, this is more kind of stylistic, a little bit different, and actually we think it's better. So he made 3 new drawings for us, and we used that for the new coins last year. And also, we work closely with the CCG Group, which consists of NGC, the coin grading company. They also have a comic book grading, which is CDC Signature Series, which what they do is they have one of their representatives be on site for a signing by the designer, and then they'll put them in the CGC comic Signature Series. We noticed the comic have a much younger audience. For example, most of our coin collector clients are around 40 to 60 years old. And then we noticed the comic is about 20 to 40. You go to a Comic-Con convention, there's 100,000 people there. And then last year, I attended the National Sports Car Convention in Chicago, and there was probably 50,000 people there, but you saw people from 10 to 40 years old. So this is a much different demographic. So we make a coin, but now we are trying to go down the vertical so you will have a younger audience for our product. Because unfortunately, when I started in this business, I was maybe 20 years old. Now I'm over 50, and most of my friends are even older. So this is a kind of a problem I see. That, the younger people are not as collecting as when I started, back when I was 10 years old, when I started collecting coins. So, but I go to the sports car show, there's lots of kids, 10 years old, around the show with their parents. They have their little tackle boxes, their trading cards with their friends. So this is a little bit different. So later this year, we're going to have a 30th anniversary Panda Medals issue in Chicago ANA. That's another business I have. It's a journal that we publish on East Asian Numismatic. It was founded in 1994 at the Detroit ANA. So we'll have a 30th anniversary Panda Medal there, and hopefully we're going to have some special events. We're working with the Smithsonian. And Macau is, last year was our 10th year, and next year will be the 11th year in Macau. So, the whole year is actually much more limited amount of products, but every product now takes a lot more time. Like, for example, for this year's Berlin Panda, we went to 4 or 5 changes in the overall sample coins because I think what it is now, you have to do a much better product so your product have a better secondary market once they're released. So in the past, what we do is we'll work with our partners. For the 9th year, here's the Kunkel auction. We usually sell out at the shows, but around 2018, 2019 was hard to sell out the entire minage. So we keep on reducing the minage, but that does not help the issue if the product is not interesting. So you have to first find an interesting subject, and then you have to put enough technology in there that it's interesting. And also, you have to find stories that's based in Berlin. And that makes it a little more tricky because you have to go around. We started with, the Brandenburg Gate. You run out of, buildings to use. So now we're using, interiors of a museum that we used 5 years ago. And then, the rotunda is really cool. It's kind of like it looks enclosed, but it's not. But, it's a totally new design that we started. And 3 years ago, we started with like the great, items that the museums are holding. Like we started with, the Ishtar Gate, at the museum here in Berlin. And then we had the Nefertiti bust, a couple years ago. And those have done very, very well. But of course, the minage is also lower. So that's, it's becoming much, much more challenging to make interesting products. And also, after the French Mint, presentation is, they have so many cool things. They have, French Open, I watch tennis, and also they have, the alligator shirts. We don't have that, so you have to find your own kind of licensing. Like we have that now with the Kung Fu novels and the Kung Fu characters, because when I was a kid, I read Japanese comic books and read the Chinese Kung Fu novels. And as you get older, you like to do things that's interesting for you. And you get to meet people who create these things. And then, hey, this is like a lot of the background information for the 100-year anniversary. They're doing a new, comic book about one of the really famous Kung Fu novels. And I was there in the studio when he was creating the 200 drawings. So, you get to, meet interesting people, and you get to do a lot of interesting things, So, and also Germany has also been a very, very good place that we have done a lot of interesting things here. So back in 2017, we did a Sino-German panda medal with Kunkel that was given away during the panda ceremony. And I went to the zoo yesterday, the 2 pandas are still there. So that was a very interesting situation for us. And also this Medium Forum is the first time, we have to appear, on a venue like this. So, we're not as well prepared, we're behind the Frenchmen and the Japanese men. It's very hard to go after these guys. But still, since we make a product that's just for the show, I think there's still a lot of attraction to be here, every year. Thank you.